Hi, welcome to Universal Interiors. I'm Leslie Engelstead.
And I am Uni Fegley.
And we sure do like that you guys watch us because we have a lot of fun doing this. Today's going to be fun. What are we going to talk about there, young lady?
Well, I think that we need to start talking a little bit about the words that we speak, the stories that we have, how it can catapult us.
Yeah, and what it does for us, how it encourages us.
Increases our faith so that when we pray, a perfect example is you and your testimony story, however you want to put it.
Right.
When you had your motorcycle wreck.
Right.
And how that story completely catapults you, and you know who you are. You know who you are, a child of God, and He definitely is there listening.
Yeah, it's a story I share, and as soon as, in fact, in the handful of accidents that I've had, I get out there and I get some chances to share, and boy, my story leads to somebody else's story, and then they've got a story about somebody, and it's like an encouraging, it's like we feed off of each other, and I think that's part of what we're supposed to be doing, is sharing a lot more stories with each other. In fact, if you think about it, that's what Jesus did. He walked the earth, and He encouraged everyone He ever came in contact with through His stories, right?
My mother-in-law was over here the other day. We were talking, and someone had called in, and there was a prayer request, and so it was me and her. And she said, "Before we do this, I want to just tell you a story." And real quick, the story was about it was a couple in China, and the guy, and this wasn't too much out of relation to her, so it wasn't like I heard this one time, but. The story goes, the mother is up on like the 4th story. She's hanging out her clothes. The baby actually falls out, lands on the pavement, and you know the story. There's like parts everywhere. So he's walking to his car and he sees this and he's like, no, this is not going to happen. So he literally gathers the pieces and he goes and puts the baby on the couch and he says, God, I'm calling out on you. My baby will not die, but my baby will live. Okay, and we're talking 4th floor here.
Right. But calling on, believing it.
He's just like, no, I'm sorry. This is premature death. This is not happening. So he goes to his meeting, comes back, and the baby's head is like put together, back together. But the baby was still dead. He goes to the 2nd day to his meeting, comes back, and the baby is alive.
Get out.
This is a true story. So she tells that story to me before we start praying for this simple request. And all of a sudden, just by sharing that story,
right, what it does
was just like elevated our prayer, like, oh yeah, that's
we
the
know
God
what you
that
can
we
do.
serve.
Right. Those
Right.
miracles, I mean, they are out there. The stories that you hear, it's amazing. And I love reading those. Again and again, I'll be so encouraged by it. And honestly, everybody has a story.
Everybody does.
So I hope that y'all out there can just get a little chance to share something that you might not even think is a miracle, so to speak, but that might encourage somebody, or that just, not by chance, but something just happened to you. It's a really beautiful way of doing it. I have recently sometimes when we look at ourselves going, I really have nothing to share, I get so sad. I just want to shake the person. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got something to share. Yes. But if you're looking for a miracle, I just heard this, look in the mirror because you yourself are one. And it is true. There is not anybody like you. Nobody is called to do just what you're called to do. So right there is a story. You have one. Somebody needs your story. Somebody needs your encouragement. Yeah. So take some time and share it with them, I think, huh?
Yeah, we are meant to... This Christian life is meant to be adventurous.
Yes.
And that means, and you're so good at it, just anything you do, anything you get in, you just wake up and you go to town and you're just looking for open doors and, oh, should have happened. Yeah. So there it is.
We have it if you have that little eyes to see. That's, I think too, Uni, in that, I think we all could be, and some of us are, some days it's easier to do than other days. Some days you just want to kind of tuck away and don't look at me, and other days are just like the choices that you make. Oh, what a bonus. That was just a complete thing that I had nothing to do with. I just kind of walked right into it. Those are some seriously great opportunities that we all have, but we just have to kind of ask.
Well, here's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
It would be fun to turn this segment into an interactive segment.
Yes, okay. Ears to hear out there.
So here's what that means. That means if you have a story and it's just like a substantial story that's going to lead others, not Facebook, email. Universal-Interiors. It will be on the screen at hotmail.com. Just send us your story, and what we'll do then is if we get enough people who reply, then we can just have another segment as like a beat.
Yes, yeah. It would be so fun.
Yeah.
Just either the story that we share, and however it's gonna work out great, because we know absolutely that this community, this area has so many stories that would be an encouragement. And just to get out and share, we also here in the Midwest area, I find maybe a little on the, nobody wants to hear it, oh, I can't tell you this, but that's not true. That's right there, big old bold-faced lie, because we are all so important. Every one of us has to paint the piece of the picture here on this earth, so please feel free, email us up. It'll be really great, and it'll be fun to share your stories. Whenever that comes down, we'll just see. But
here's another thing. I'm thinking, some of you might be watching and you might think, you might be stuck in a very huge rut, and sometimes getting it out into the light, even if we don't know your name, even getting it out, if you're in this really dark place and you get that stuff to the light and then you watch and then you know what's up, that
I love it.
Nothing can happen. The Lord can touch that and use it, not only help other people that are listening, but just by getting that out to you.
There's healing.
There's so much healing.
Yeah. There's a great point. We don't even need your name if you don't want to. But if you're all about yourself, then send a picture, send a name. Yeah, we could do that too. But it is really interesting. I have recently started writing in the Frazee Burgess Forum, and it's been really a neat opportunity. And in that story, I get to encourage people, hey, write me with your news, tell me some things. Well, either they're not used to hearing from me yet, but I get to do a little sharing about whatever news I knew of. But in that, I'm finding that maybe people don't think it's newsworthy, but you'd be surprised how just even a little thing can just help so many. And I know, or maybe it's about your grandmother. A great story that I just heard, you guys, it was so tremendous, actually. And a lady that works for, I probably won't say his name, a very wealthy man in the neighborhood, has worked for her, and she was in need of a bunk bed for her children, and found out that the whole package deal was almost $900 because it was different things with health and all this. And she mentioned it, she goes, oh, okay, well, maybe not. Well, he overheard, called, went redial, called it, said, deliver this to her house.
Wow.
He treated, just like that. A story happened. I just heard this the other day, and I was so thrilled. And this is the stuff that life is made of. It's just we can't wait to do something for each other. As you were saying, if you are feeling on the low side, write it out,
get it out,
send it out, and somebody else will probably be able to encourage you along the way.
Your story definitely matters.
It does. Each one of us.
Yes.
Sure is fun having time to talk. Have a great day.